What I'm about to show you isn't theory. It's the hidden strategy behind every public humiliation you've faced. Most people panic, they flinch, they lose control. But the very moment someone tries to break you, you can turn it into your advantage. Watch closely, because what they want you to feel, you can use against them. Humiliation. It hits fast. One wrong word, one wrong move, and suddenly the room turns. Laughter cuts through the air. Eyes shift. You feel it, that drop in the stomach when you realize you've become the joke. Most people panic. They explain. They laugh along, or worse, they disappear inside themselves. But here's the truth. No one tells you. The person who humiliates you isn't powerful. They're desperate. They need to shrink you to feel tall. They need attention to feel seen. And if you react, you feed them. That's the trap. That's the show they rehearsed. And they think you'll play your part. But humiliation can be reversed. It can be turned into power. Because the crowd doesn't follow truth. It follows presence. If you can stay calm while they try to break you, you control the room. You decide what the moment means. This isn't about pride. It's about psychological warfare. The battlefield isn't the insult. It's perception. And perception is everything. So next time someone tries to humiliate you, don't react. Pause. Watch. Let silence do what panic never could. Because that's when the tables turn. That's when the weak expose themselves. And that's when you stop being the target and become the one who controls the story. Every humiliation starts with a setup. Someone throws a jab, a joke, a comment meant to sting. They're not testing your intelligence, they're testing your control. They want to see if they can make you flinch. Because the moment you react, you lose the frame. You start dancing to their rhythm. And now, they're leading the scene. That's how social power works. It's not about truth. It's about who looks composed when the pressure hits. So they wait for you to break. They wait for you to defend yourself, to argue, to explain. Because defense makes you small. It tells the crowd they hit something real. But when you don't react, everything flips. The silence stretches. The air changes. Now, they look unsure. They expected chaos. Instead, they get calm. That calm is lethal. It exposes their insecurity. It shows the crowd who actually holds the power. Stillness becomes your armor. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to win the argument. You just need to make them question why they ever thought they could move you. Because the truth is simple. Humiliation only works if you play along. If you refuse to perform, their stage collapses. The crowd stops laughing. The moment freezes. And suddenly, you're not the fool anymore. You're the one rewriting the script. That's the first step in taking back control. Don't react. Don't explain. Just pause and let their noise reveal its own weakness. The moment you stop reacting, you gain control of the frame. Now, it's your move. Most people think power comes from loud words or clever comebacks. It doesn't. Power comes from presence, from the calm that makes others question what you know. When someone insults you, don't argue, don't defend. Instead, expose the motive behind the attack. Say less, but make it sting. Something like, interesting how much effort you put into that, or it's revealing how badly you needed to say that. You're not fighting the words, you're flipping the meaning. You're showing the room that the insult wasn't strength, it was desperation. This is what Machiavelli called frame inversion. You make the attacker the insecure one. The spotlight shifts, and suddenly, the crowd sees their weakness instead of yours. If their jab held a bit of truth, own it. Don't deny. Say, yeah, that happened. Then stop talking. You've already won, because ownership kills humiliation. When you claim your flaw, no one can use it against you. It becomes a scar, not a wound. The attacker loses power, the crowd feels it, and the silence that follows becomes your stage. Remember, it's never about who's right. It's about who controls what the moment means. So hold your ground. Speak less. Move slower. Let your calm turn their aggression into noise. Because when you look unshaken, you don't just survive the moment, you redefine it. Not all attacks are loud. Some are quiet, a snide remark, a subtle exclusion, a conversation that moves around you. These are the worst, because there's no target to strike back at, no words to argue against, just an invisible weight pressing on you. Most people panic. They try to explain themselves. They try to insert their presence. They fight shadows, and that's exactly what the attacker wants. The Machiavellian response is different. You don't chase. You observe. You withdraw your energy strategically. Your silence isn't absence. It's control. It's tactical. It shifts attention without a word. When someone ignores you, stop reacting. Smile subtly. Engage elsewhere. Build value in another corner of the room. Let the attacker speak into the void. Every word they say without your reaction exposes them. Every joke without your laughter highlights their desperation. They crave control. They crave attention. They fail when you deny them both. Silence is gravity. It pulls perception toward you. It forces the crowd to notice your presence and theirs. And in that quiet, the power dynamic reverses. You don't humiliate them directly. You let them humiliate themselves. Every attempt to trap you becomes proof of their insecurity, and the crowd sees it. True strategy isn't loud. It's invisible, measured, patient. It's using absence.com and focus to let others reveal their weakness. In the arena of quiet attacks, silence isn't surrender, it's dominance. And the moment they realize it, the stage you were excluded from becomes yours. Humiliation isn't the end, it's the beginning. The moment someone tries to break you publicly is the moment you can rise higher than they imagined. The key is calm, control, presence. Most people react. They defend, they argue, they panic. You don't. You pause, you watch. You let the attack expose the attacker. Every insult, every jab, every passive-aggressive comment becomes a mirror reflecting their neediness, insecurity, and desperation. You don't need to prove yourself. You need to control meaning. And that control transforms humiliation into power. Speak when necessary, but speak deliberately, short, measured, detached. A single line can do more than 1,000 words. You seem really committed to this performance. Funny how much effort it took to say that. Not aggression, not defensiveness, just clarity. And in that clarity, the crowd sees the shift. They remember your composure, not the insult. They remember presence, not the pain. Then leave. Walk away. Don't wait for applause. Don't linger. The silent exit is the final strike. Because power isn't shown in arguments. It's shown in self-control. It's shown in energy. It's shown in leaving others to replay your calm, while the attacker flails in their own failure. Psychological elevation is mastery. It's not about revenge. It's about invisibly winning the battle while the world only notices the outcome. The one who was humiliated, now untouchable. The attacker, exposed. And the crowd, they remember who truly owned the moment. Not the insult, not the words, the presence. Humiliation happens to everyone. It's unavoidable. One wrong word, one overlooked glance, and suddenly, the room seems against you. But here's the truth. Humiliation only works if you play along. If you react with panic, defense, or anger, you let someone else define your story. The Machiavellian approach is different. Pause, observe, control your presence. Silence becomes a weapon. Stillness becomes power. You don't argue the insult. You don't explain yourself. You redirect the frame. You expose the attacker's insecurity. You flip the narrative. And in that moment, humiliation turns into dominance. Even subtle attacks, jokes, exclusions, passive-aggressive comments can be countered without words, with calm, with strategy, with energy directed elsewhere. Because attention is power, and withdrawing it from the aggressor shifts the room. And when you do speak, speak minimally, surgically, turning effort into exposure, weakness into revelation. Finally, exit. Don't wait for applause. Don't seek validation. Your presence alone leaves the strongest impression. The attacker is exposed. The crowd remembers your composure, and you control the story. Humiliation is temporary. Self-control is permanent. The moment designed to break you becomes your platform to rise. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: you are never the fool unless you accept it. Your reaction decides the meaning, and your presence decides the outcome. If you found this insight valuable, like this video, subscribe to Psychology Insights, and turn notifications on. We break down human behavior, power, and strategy so you can master your mind and control the moments that matter most. Remember, silence, presence, and calm are your sharpest tools. Use them wisely, and the next time the room turns against you, you won't just survive, you'll rise.